Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Again, as always, if you like what you are watching and you want some more information, you can just subscribe and you will get up-to-date information on immigration and various topics. You can also check out our website at www.tntvisa.com, or you can email us at info@tntvisa.com, or reach out to us via text at 754-610-7266. So thank you very much for watching this. Today, we're going to discuss a little bit about how to get permanent residency if you're here on an L1 visa. Remember last week, as we discussed, the L1 visa is transferring someone from a foreign company, a company overseas, not inside the United States, into the United States. Now, it is used by multiple huge corporations. It's also used by startup companies and people that have small businesses. And this is more in reference to people that have small businesses, because the bigger companies, typically all of this would apply. So again, what is great about the L1 visa, but remember, you do not just have to have an L1 visa to apply for this. You can also have an E2 visa and also be able to do this exact same thing, provided that these facts or situation is in your regards. If you think that it might be, you do want to speak to an attorney, we'll be happy to reach out to you and talk to you. Again, you can research at info@tntvisa.com, 754-610-7266, or you can also go to our website at www.tntvisa.com to get more information and a way to contact us very quickly and easily. So basically, you want to have worked in a company outside the United States that is related to a company inside the United States. That relationship is typically done through ownership and control. As we discussed last week, it's not necessarily the ownership that matters, but the control. Who controls the foreign company, the company outside the United States, and who controls the company inside the United States? As long as you can prove that at least 50% control is shared between the company outside the US and the company inside the US, you can use this for residency purposes. Now, you have had to have worked for that foreign company for at least a year within the 3 years before coming to the US to work for the US company. Now, if you're working for the US company under an E2 visa, or you're working for the US company on an L1 visa, this still applies. So it doesn't matter, what your status, but L1 visa is a little bit easier because your attorney would have all the information and just be able to pass it all over. And the next step that you're looking into is what was your position in the company outside the US? Did you work in a managerial or an executive role? If you've already received the L1 visa, that's already been determined. You don't have to worry about that. You're just reapplying that for this new process. If you have an E2 visa, you're going to have to go into it and provide documentation and proof that you worked in either a managerial or an executive role. Now, for the US, you also have to work in a managerial or an executive role. And that's where you're going to look at the US company. You're going to look specifically at how much money is coming into the US company and how many people report to you within the US company. Now, there's no set rule, there's no set guideline on this. But typically, what we have found through experience and in the past is when you have reached $1 million in sales. Now, that is gross sales, not net sales. But when you've reached $1 million in gross sales, you can you will be able to that is giving a presumption to the officer that the company will need a manager or an executive. Now, the next thing you have to check is how many people are actually reporting to you. Do you have at least 7 to 8 people? We would prefer more to have 10 reporting to you. Now, this does not mean that you have to have 10 direct employees. What it means is that you have to have 10 people reporting to you. So if you have independent contractors reporting to you, if you have outsourced various aspects of your business to third parties, which is typical, which is what a lot of companies are doing nowadays to save costs. You don't typically have like a marketing person on board that you're paying every single day. What do? You pay a marketing company to do your social media, to do whatever you need, and that can be added into this into the people that are reporting to you, as long as you are the ones that are making decisions on what is going to be on the marketing. Same thing with you're not going to typically have a CFO when you're at this level. You're probably going to have it when you've reached $2 to $3 million. But when you're at $1 million, you're not going to have a CFO. What you will have is an outside accountant. That accountant and a bookkeeper are going to be preparing various reports for you, and you're going to prove and show that they do that. And you're going to have contracts, and you're going to have invoices from them. But you have to prove to the officer that you are working in a managerial or an executive role. And typically, those are the two things that they're looking for. Has the company earned $1 million in gross sales, and has the company have about 8 to 10 people reporting directly to them? I know I said that 7, but the more people you have reporting to you, the stronger your petition is. So when you have that, basically what you're doing is you're going to be filing for your residency in the US. If you're here under an L1 visa, you're typically going to apply for your residency when you're submitting this request. Why? Because the L1 visa is something that is unique with the H1B visa, and the fact that you can have an L1 visa and you can have your residency request filed at the same time, and you can travel in and out of the United States under your L1 visa, and you do not lose the residency request. Now, this is important because most of the time when you have a residency request, if you leave the country and you come back in, immigration will deem to have your residency request be abandoned. Now, there are ways around that, and basically you can get a travel permit that allows you to leave the country and come back in with that travel permit. And when you come back in with that travel permit, immigration treats your residency application as still being viable and a pending application. But with the L1 visa, you don't have to travel with that travel permit. So if you're here under an L1 visa, you've applied for residency, you haven't received the travel permit, and all of a sudden you need to go back to your foreign country, your home country, to take care of business or family or something like that, you can freely travel with the L1 visa. This does not apply to the investor visa, the E2 visa. So when you're doing residency through this route, through the E2 visa, typically you want to have the petition that's filed by the company approved before you file for residency, because if that petition is denied, then you're going to lose your E2 status in the US. And so you just want to cover your grounds and make sure that you have a strong plan for immigration. Now, leaving under the E2 visa and coming back in while you have this petition pending is not going to impact you in any way, based on the regulations. But it's still very, very important for you to reach out and speak to your attorney to verify and tell them your travel plans, what you're doing, why you're doing it, so that they can be apprised of the situation and give you the best course of the best chance of success and the best advice on how you can legally do what you want to do. Because there are a lot of different subsets and a lot of different nuances to immigration law. And if you don't follow them correctly, what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with a denial, and you're going to end up potentially facing severe adverse consequences. So this is just a little bit of information about how to go from the L1 to the residency. Some other benefits of doing this is the fact that your whole family can apply. So your spouse and any children under 21 will be able to apply. When you do this, when you're on an L1 visa and you apply for the residency, the entire family applies for residency, which means now that your children can apply for and seek a work authorization card and social security number, something that they couldn't do before. It also allows them to, if you have a 16-year-old who wants to start working, this is the way that you're allowing them to be able to actually start working. And they can work for you, or they can work for, a typical teenage job, whatever they want to do to be able to earn extra income for them. So these are just some general information about going from the L1 visa to the residency. Again, if you ever have any questions or any comments, you can leave them in the comment section below. You can reach out to us at info@tntvisa.com or at 754-610-7266, where you can text us and call us. We prefer text through WhatsApp or through regular messenger. And you can also check information about us on our website at www.tntvisa.com, where you'll have more information about residency, the L1 visa, and you'll have more information about this particular program, about us, the team people that work with us, and how to contact us directly. Thank you very much for watching this. Again, if you like what you enjoy, please subscribe to our channel so that you can get more up-to-date information. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.